Okay, off you go then.
Good morning, we are Primrose Farm. I'm Charlie.
I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Jess.
We are here today to present our business plan that will support our grant application for the LEADER programme for self-catering accommodation on our farm.
So currently at the moment we're a dairy working farm with around 400 cattle. We're based and located in East Ashling. We own 1,200 acres of land and we've got numerous outbuildings which are suitable for conversion. So at the moment with the dropping price of milk over the last 4 years, we're now struggling with increasing financial pressures in the farming sector, so we've chosen to diversify into a new sector. Before we came up with a plan of what we wanted to do, as you can see in front of you, we've done a detailed competitor analysis of 33 different competitors around the same area in West Sussex as we're located. We did this competitor analysis so that we could see what was already on the market, what target markets were being approached and what features they had within their accommodation to see how we could differentiate ourselves from them. But although there are many competitors, the demand for self-catering accommodation in West Sussex is still really high. This is due to it being an outstanding area of natural beauty and tourists wanting to come and visit. We've dotted on a map in front of you, as you can see, all of the locations of the competitors to see where they are around us, and we've done a distance map on the competitor analysis of how far away they are from our location to see how much of a competitor they actually are to ourselves.
Where's your location, Jess?
The locations on the next slide. On the next slide we've done.
Thank you.
We've enlisted the help of Pear Technology GIS mapping software to zoom in on our location so we can see exactly what's close to us in our proximity. You can see that we're positioned in the middle of the purple square, and our closest competition are the red triangles around us. We're lucky as there's a cluster of competition and accommodation around us compared with the surrounding area. Being slightly further away from the direct competition should mean that we should get a bit more trade, and we're also filling a self-catering accommodation gap that would otherwise be in that area as we are the only provider of accommodation in a sort of 8-mile radius. Developing a new business would fit in with the LEADER grants policy. We will be supporting small business growth by doing something with our small business growth and farm diversification, as we will be converting our old barns, and rural tourism by encouraging people to holiday with us and stay in the area. These aims are also shared with the West Sussex County Council's local development strategy, meaning that setting up a successful self-catering accommodation on our farm would be helping the development of the authority's overall plan. We would also be grateful to use the grant's expertise and knowledge to help us create the best quality lets possible and meet our objectives.
Project objectives. We have identified 4 objectives for our accommodation business. By identifying these 4 objectives, it allows our business to understand what we want to achieve and strive to. Firstly, is to create a family-orientated, authentic and high-quality catering accommodation facility. Secondly, to provide tourists with an experience better than their surrounding competitors. To generate an all-year-round source of income for the farm. And lastly, to gain profit from the accommodation after 2 years.
Without funding, we might struggle to meet our objectives, but we would still plan to go ahead with the barn renovations, as we believe that the accommodation could still offer a vital year-round income for the farm and be a way to stop the buildings falling into worse disrepair. We would also contribute to the local economy and attract people to the area and help to build the South Downs brand. However, the funding is crucial for us really for sticking to timescales and ensuring the building's facilities are up to high standard and using the quality contractors that the fund provides. It will help us to make a durable and more better experience. This should result in more repeat customers and therefore make a more profitable business, increasing the area's tourism opportunities as well. We have looked into the tourism industry as a whole to see the lookout at the moment. In 2014, British residents took 92.6 million overnight trips in England, totaling 273 million nights away. We feel like this is quite a lot of nights that we could help to fill. 9.21 of these million took domestic trips to the countryside regions such as West Sussex, and out of these 14% use self-catering rented accommodation. So you can see that from this there is currently a strong market for self-catering rented accommodation in the UK countryside, making it a good time for us to invest in the project. As our target market goes, we intend to target families with particularly young children. There is a market for this customer segment because South Downs area is really rich in family-based activities, attractions and interests like cycling, walking, horse riding. There's lots of wildlife and nature and attractions like the Wilton Downland, Fisher's Dairy and Fishbourne Raymond Villa. What we plan to do for our project, to meet Objective 1, we propose to convert 3 of our deteriorating barns into 1 4-bedroom unit for the average size family, an 8-bedroom unit which will meet the demand for larger families and larger family gatherings, and 1 indoor children's play area. To make the most of our large barns, as well as the 4-bed, we've chosen to do a larger 8-bed because it lends itself to large families and we can get more people in and therefore charge more. From our market research, it's clear that the customers are looking for an authentic countryside retreat that's different from their home, which is usually cities. So our style will be rustic, family-orientated, cosy, warm, rural, but a modern farmhouse character, and with features like wood burning, fireplaces, and we'll hope to retain as much of the barn's natural features as possible. Similarly, we have deducted that customers want high-quality amenities to suit their activities that they may be doing in the environment, like walking. So everything will be high quality, well-made sort of wooden furniture, with a functional kitchen, washing facilities, outside barbecue area, porch to hang shoes and coats when they come in from walks, and it's also going to be dog-friendly. Relating to our target market, we've also identified that over a third of self-catering accommodation in the area caters for younger children by providing cots and prams and things. So we will provide this as well as more as each let will have an enclosed garden, which will be safer for children to play in, and dogs. And the smaller let, the 4-bedroom one, will be on 1 floor, so it's more child-friendly and also wheelchair accessible. We have chosen to build a play barn so we can offer more facilities than most of our surrounding competitors, so we'll more easily be able to attract the family market. In the play barn, we'll build a wooden farmyard-themed climbing frame and slide, and we'll have a pool table and football table for adults and children, so they find it quite fun to play on, as well as an area for younger children with sort of nursery games and building bricks. The style of the barn will try to match accommodation by being as authentic as possible. Toys will be made from wood where possible, and everything shall be a farmyard, countryside theme to connect to the country experience, so it's continued throughout the whole of the family stay. The facility shall be our main USP and help to meet Objective 2. And by doing all these extra things, we hope to stand out from our competitors by offering most of the facilities our customers often look for in the search criteria when they're searching online for a holiday. So for our potential revenue, to ensure our business is viable and meet Objective 3, we've looked into the occupancy rates of our surrounding competitor calendars, and we have found that occupancy was pre-booked for 3/4 of the year in advance. So this shows there is a high demand for self-catering accommodation in the area, and we expect Christmas and summer to be our boom periods. Devised from our competitor analysis, we also propose to rent our accommodation units at mid to high level to reflect the quality, but not as high as some of our highest competitors, so we won't be limiting our audience too much, and also providing our customers with good value for money. Therefore, our 4-bedroom unit will be £750 per week, and our 8-bedroom unit will be £1,300 per week, but this price will fluctuate over busy periods, so more expensive in the summer. And based on 40-week occupancy on both units, the development is likely to generate £82,000 of extra revenue for us annually.
So looking at the local area, as the local area is already an attraction for tourists, there's already a high demand for self-catering accommodation. The South Downs is a designated area of outstanding natural beauty, which we're going to use completely to our advantage. Chichester Harbour is only 5 miles away, and that's a site of scientific interest. The landscape, therefore, lends itself to country pursuit, and it's very popular with walking and bird watching. So we'll be using things like South Coast Cycle Path, the South Downs Way, and we'll be marketing these along with our self-catering accommodation so that the tourists know exactly what's around us and what they can be doing for family-based activities whilst they're staying with us. West Sussex also has plenty of historical attractions. For example, there's Arundel Castle, there's Wilden Downland Open Air Museum, the Novium, the South Downs Planetarium and Fishbourne Roman Palace. These all will be attractions for families that can visit, so whilst they're on their stay, there's so much to do around the area, so we've got really lucky location based around us. And the characteristics of the type of people that would want to visit these attractions is the target market that we're aiming our accommodation at. They'd want a high, authentic, quality accommodation. So we are aiming that, and that links in with our objective 1. So collaborating with local businesses, we want to help our businesses that are surrounded around our area. So we did a little analysis of local businesses that we could potentially collaborate with. So we looked at the Horse and Groom pub, which is based in East Ashling, which is very close to our location, and we thought we could do a percentage off voucher for our guests, which would bring in more trade for the pub, and it would give our guests the experience of a local country pub around us. And we thought we could link with a taxi service within us, within East Ashling, so that would give a loyalty scheme for returning customers. Maybe we need to speak to the taxi company about that, but the taxi company would get more trade, and that would also offer our guests the opportunity to enjoy a drink despite the secluded location within the countryside, meaning they wouldn't have to drive. Farbridge Wedding Venue, we thought this would be a great collaboration with a business, as that would offer us all year round guests. It wouldn't be just sitting on seasonality and high demand seasons. And it would also get more trade through their business as we'd be located on their website. We also looked into Grange Farm Shop. This is a local farm shop near us. We thought that we could collaborate with them and maybe have a hamper created for the arrival of all of our guests situated in their barns. This would bring all year round customers for the farm shop, and it would also give the guests a chance to enjoy locally sourced and grown food.
Benefits to business. We have identified 3 main benefits existing farm business, which are income, adaptability and skills. Firstly is income. The accommodation business brings a second income which the dairy farm can run without financial burden and less reliant on government subsidies. This can even mean for growth and improvement in the dairy farm business. Secondly, to refer to the objective of a year through income, having this steady income throughout the year will mean long-term financial security, which is also not seasonal. It especially means the accommodation to ever not rely on the dairy farm income as well. The second benefit is adaptability. Now that the farm is diversifying, it can mean that any new opportunities will be encouraged to take on. For example, another diversification business revenue in the future, such as food. It also means that we know what works best for our farm, and we also understand what we can do to eliminate any future changes and or business ventures which could fail and negatively impact on the dairy farm. Lastly is skills. An increase in new business contacts could be beneficial in future situations for the dairy farm, such as then there may need to be construction or development within the milking parlour, and there are contacts or contractors there to help us with this. Also, via the process of diversifying, can bring on new skills such as project management, which can help the farm. Also, financial skills will also be developed on, which may help the financial running of the dairy farm. Project timeline. We have identified the project timeline has been developed to have an understanding of how long the project will run. These dates and durations are estimates. The start and end dates was Monday the 11th of January 2015 and Friday the 5th of May 2016. The opening date of the accommodation will be the 10th of July 2017. The business plan duration will take 2 weeks, and this includes what we plan to do. Building surveys and architectural design. This is 2 months. This looks at whether the buildings are suitable for our use and what we plan to do with them. Planning permission. This can take up to 8 weeks. However, any complications that may bring, this can push us back. A legal grant usually takes about 6 months to come through. Building work, again, this could take up to 5 months, but any complications that could arise will push us back. And interior decorations would be 3 months. Following on from the interior decoration, there'll be advertising and marketing, which will run throughout the existence of the business, but however, there'll be initially 2 months of advertising before the opening date of the accommodation. A Gantt chart has also been developed to specifically have a visual aid of the timeline. Risk. We have identified 5 main risks that could affect the development of the diversification. These are funding, timescales and planning permission. We've also identified 2 risks which could affect the business when it's open, which are target market and competition. And the target market, the risk here is that accommodation won't actually target the family, target market, which are families in terms of facilities and features. To prevent this, we are going to undertake market research consistently throughout the whole project to identify any changes in this trend. Funding. Different aspects of the renovation may go over budget, which means that there will be a financial burden during the project. To prevent this, there is going to be constant communication between the contractors and the project managers by identifying our plans and budgets, and also by keeping in touch with the receipts to make sure that we are keeping within our budget. Timescales. Different parts of the renovation may take longer than the first plan, which could push the dates further and further away from being completed. And to make sure this doesn't happen, again, constant regular contact with the contractors and builders to ensure that these targets are being met well before the deadlines. So if one aspect did go overrun, there will be still enough time to complete other aspects. Planning permission. The council can be quite tough on planning permission, so if we do something in our renovation that's not in line with our planning permission, the council won't be happy and will be wanting it to, end the project. Therefore, we'll have constant contact with those by making sure we are doing everything correctly. Lastly, competitors. This relates to one of our objectives of having tourists offer a better experience than our competitors. However, if the competitors have the same target market and have better quality, this would mean that we would not get any customers and not reach our target market. Therefore, we have done a competitor analysis that are in your packs to ensure that we know what the competitors offer and also we can do something different. However, if what we offer is the same, we will offer higher quality and also something that can be deemed as innovative. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Very nice. Jessica, you can relax now. All right. What do you think? You tell me.
How well we did?
Yeah, tell us what you.
I think we pulled it. I honestly put it out of the bag. That's the word. I think we can use that.
Have you demonstrated to me that you understand the market? Have you developed a concept? I think you have.
Yeah.
And I can see which one you do. I think it was quite concise. Certain bits I liked, and there's certain bits I think you could have gone into a little bit more because you've done the work, and I think you didn't make enough. And you can tell me straight away what that was. What's missing? Tell you what, I'll start positive. Put your risk assessment at the end is very thorough. That's your event management kicking in. with Wendy thinking about your risks and what the project can do. You ran through it a bit,
Yeah.
so always slow down a little bit when you do
I
it.
did-
But I
what
thought it was
I
very thorough.
What I didn't want to do was, talk about it, but then it's on there for you to think, why did you talk
Well, just
about
pull out
it?
indicative things. You
Yeah.
can say, look, here's the risk assessment, pull out some indicative elements of it.
Yeah.
But you did that well. I thought that was, and I think that is really the event side of things coming through that you've done, that you can spot where things
Yeah.
might go wrong. Okay, which bit was missing? Which do you think you could have made? I'm still here, scratching my brain. Which bit could you make more of?
I don't think we focused on our local area enough.
You did, but in the context of the local area, what could you have developed a little bit more? Because you did it right at the beginning and then it was left, it was parked. And actually, when I look at what you've done, which is credit to you again, it's here.
Yeah.
This is very thorough, all right? And this is, however, when you're doing a presentation, where does this need to be? Yeah.
On there.
This is great. You know,
Okay.
it's really good that you've done this. But how many businesses did you look at?
33.
Right, 33. So if we go back through, I know what George asked you at the beginning, where's the business? All right? Now you went there, so credit to you for, George, I don't know whether you know, but Lizzie works for a GIS company.
Oh, right,
part-time.
yes.
So that's nice to see you actually taking advantage of the technology to do it. What I know George, I think the point George was trying to make there was, it would be really useful to have you on that map as well. Because it's not just the immediate location that you've got to worry about, it's also the broader. What else have you got out there that's there now? With my Visit Chichester head on, I know what you're up against, and I can tell you now that from a South Catering point of view, what I've been saying to you all the way through,
There's a high demand.
absolutely, it's high demand for it, okay? And the other thing is, when you look at what we've got from a South Catering perspective, it is top end. It's something like you find off, that fabulous painting on Channel 4 or Grand Design. Some of it is just breathtaking. And I think what would have been really useful is instead of just going through this list to say, we looked at 32. Of those 32 you looked at, how many and what level are they? So we look at the grading of them. How many are 4 or 5? Because what you'll find is that they are predominantly, well, if they are graded, because that's something you didn't mention either, is that when they are graded, they are top end. So if you're going to come into this market, you can't fart about, technically speaking, you've got to do top. And it would have been nice just to see some of this competitor analysis just gone in. You don't need to do them all, because look, we've given you a pack, but let's just highlight some indicative examples. Gone in, pulled down some images to say, look, this is what we're up against, look at the aesthetic, look at the design. You've got your market right, but what are the competitors doing to be absolutely certain? Now, because you've done it, but given that it's a big presentation, elements of that needed to be on it to really showcase that you understand. Now, I think your thinking implies that you've done this and you've learned from this process, but it needs to be, for us, explicit in terms of you've actually done it, because I think that helps you a lot. Another example, so for example, in the session I talked about Prophetic Farm and what they've done, and you can put examples in. The other thing a lot of these businesses are, they're not accredited. They haven't. It's interesting that a lot of them just let the quality speak for themselves. So would you be accredited?
No, we wouldn't.
Why not?
Because we wanted to get a high accreditation one because you have to have a TV in each room, and we don't think that works with our kind of authentic family feel, everyone in the sitting room sort of a thing. So that's one of the reasons why we wouldn't want to get accredited.
Okay. What about marketing? As part of your project plan, where are you going to advertise?
Charlie mentioned that we were advertising to. Huh? What we're advertising.
Yeah. Where are you going to advertise?
I see. Online.
Where?
TripAdvisor.
Visit Chichester.
Thank you.
Visit Chichester.
But that's just the immediate link to get in there with really nice images and what you're going to do and so on and so forth. There was no mention of sustainability. Given that you've done George's module last year, and this is an opportunity for you to demonstrate how to do a sustainable business, you've picked it up with hampers and things like that, but given it was landscape, what we also want to do is build a green theme in, and we want to try and get some element of GTPS accreditation would have been really good. I think given the location and the market and the landscape, bedroom browsers, because you've got it, because when you did the audit of local competitors, that was good as well, because it showed that you thought about what's on your doorstep, how you're going to link it all together. So lots of really good bits in there. But just put it out and say, well, if we do all of these things, actually that's going to enable us in the first instance, we're going to go for bronze. We're not going to jump straight in. we'll get bronze GTS accreditation, and then we'll build up. We'd like to get a gold, but we're going to take it over a couple of years, and we're going to build up to it and stuff like that. You could have also said we're going to do welcome walk for cyclists. Given that we've done that in the session, you could have actually developed your how you're going to cater for that. You know, that's one particular market that you could have, you could have gone for. So, look, hey, it's still good. All right, this is extra polish on the top because I think it does hold together really nicely as a pitch in terms of the kind of area. I just think it needs a little bit more context. Be careful with the project timelines. You know, the first thing you've got to get from CDC is planning permission. And CDC will say yes 1 minute and then turn around and you get to planning. What happens, because this has happened over the last 6 months, the amount of appeal letters I've had, the amount of planning appeals I've personally got involved with my businesses is growing. And I was at a vision meeting last week with CDC and they were talking about what do we need to improve, and I said planning, because my businesses are going out looking for planning permission for this type of activity. They're going to the planning officer in the context of the economic development strategy and saying that's a really good idea. And then they get to the planning stage and they're turned down. So one of the risks is refusal and going to appeal. So, but I think you partly mentioned that, but that's the bigger picture. But that takes longer, and then the build takes slightly longer. So if we were starting now, when do you think you'd be open?
Well, I did say July.
It's July, August 2016 at the very, very earliest to get this to the quality that you need. It'll take you a good 6 months, if not longer, to get this thing to be running and up to the level that you want. It always takes longer than you think. Something like this a year, you're always thinking, actually, we're in it for, you could easily turn around and say it's Easter 2017. If you're being really safe, all right, it's Easter 2017. And if we get it right, it's Christmas 16.
Well, I thought their timeline was 17 and a half
It
years.
was in August.
But be really, this is what we're aiming for. Okay? The other thing was when we did the session, there are quality documents from Visit England about what people are looking for and how they perceive the countryside and accommodation. If you put some of those at the start, it would have helped to explain to me why you're doing self-catering. Because that's what you got. Why is it self-catering that you've got? Why aren't you doing a B&B? Why aren't you doing a conference venue? Why have you chosen self-catering?
Self-catering is where there's a gap in the market, because if you look on the competitor analysis, a lot of the competitors are actually B&B, so they're still competitors to us because they're accommodation, but they're not offering what we're offering. So
and the other thing is, the other reason self-catering is, from your perspective, it's actually less labour intensive than a B&B. All right. The other thing also is that you probably employ somebody. You could mention that you would be generating the other contribution that you would, if you think about your numbers, unless you're going to do it yourself. But I can see you employing somebody part-time to do the changeovers on a certain day.
We're still working dairy farms, so we can't do it all.
No, so you'd probably buy somebody, you'd bring an agency in to do the a turnover on a Friday to get that turnover, so there's an employment element there. George?
I'm really well impressed. And the basically the comments I would have would be a mirror comments of Andy really. I'm so impressed with your competitor analysis, and I think you kind of almost you put so much effort and you could have that better effect in the presentation really. What I personally would like to have seen really is just one more slide that would have said our USP. Okay, sort of what is it that makes a unique, different, sort of competitive regard to this bunch of 33 businesses you are looking at. And I know what I you gave me the answers that you were along, but it would have been nice to have sort of almost like that single slide that was, this is our vision. This is our USP, and these are the elements that we're going to put together from economics, sort of competitive analysis, our market, differentiation that's going to make us unique, how we're going to play out the environment and the sort of the sustainability elements of the location where we are and the way we're going to run the business. That's going to make us unique, and that would have been kind of the gold slide there, really. It's not a big issue because in a way it was there, but you have to pull it out, and it would be better to kind of be given in a way.
And remember, you're bidding Because you did get into finances today, which was I didn't ask you to do that because you
Yeah.
can get bogged down. But given it's a pitch for a business proposal,
Yeah.
and then we're going to turn around to you and say, come back with a more defined costings
Yeah.
and stuff like that, yeah, we like it, that would have really just put the icing on
Yeah.
the cake and, oh, well, that's going to work. Because it would work. A product like this in this type of location is a no-brainer. All right? But just be absolutely... Because in a way, it's a bit of your Barneymo's presentation from last year when you did your auditing. All right? And you've drawn on that really well because this is very detailed. But you must, if you're going to put all this time and effort into doing something like this, to this level of detail, you must use it. Or else it kind of like, it's almost like it becomes redundant.
Yeah.
And even a little table which said, you know, we've looked at 32 businesses, 80% have got this, 90, you know,
Yeah.
to almost demonstrate your entry point that we've, you know, this is about what level have we got to come into. You know the level because it's all here. And you could have then, as part of the USP, said, you know, our entry point has to be this, and this, to be competitive with everybody else. To gain what I now call my purple goldfish, which is the difference, what are you going to do that's different? How do you stand out from the market?
I think I mentioned that the play barn would be our USP.
That's one USP for the families, but you could have done, if it's a
Should have
farm,
done, yeah.
how are you going to take advantage of the farm environment? Animals, you know, you can do things like that, synthetic farm kicking in. What about farm trails that shows off your location in the downs? It's just extending out it and linking it to the different areas.
And so something that, you know, Isla mentioned, and it's actually a good part of your space, is, you know, because you're having this huge barn compared to the Bay Area, that means that actually play, you know, one of your species that is aware, and you haven't actually say that clearly enough, you know. Doesn't matter what the weather is, you know, kids will still have a fantastic time because they have all these different performance sensories.
Can I ask you another one? Okay. Who did you interview for the podcast? Because you've done self-catering for the podcast, haven't you?
Yeah.
Like, who have you interviewed for the podcast?
We interviewed the lady at who owns Cobner Cat, was it Cobner?
Okay.
Can you
Cottages.
Can you
Yeah. So you've been down to Kew. Yeah.
We got to have a look around.
Yeah.
We interviewed the guy at Fisher's Dairy Farm.
And also got
The lady
Who was the gent that sent us the answers?
Right.
the courtyard, the gentleman's together.
Okay. So you've gone out and you've spoken to industry
Yeah.
because it links to your podcast.
Yeah.
You know what you could have done?
I've used some.
Why didn't you put those in?
I used some.
Why didn't you turn around and say, as part of the process, we've gone and actually not only have we identified the competitors, but we've also taken the opportunity to go and speak to some of them. And actually, from this, these are the key things that we've. That's why there's a bit of subtlety, and I don't necessarily give you that bit of guidance because I leave it to you to see if you can join the two together. But you had every opportunity to say, actually, as part of this process, we've also gone and interviewed 3 businesses as part of a mentoring program or to get some ideas. And from this, we've learned that this is going to be critical to our bid. Don't treat the 2 parts of the assessment as isolated. They actually do support each other.
That's why I knew we shouldn't be accredited, but we shouldn't be accredited because one of the farms said that was the reason.
Right, so that's what you needed to mention. So the rationale for not doing it, you've got point of evidence, because in a way you've not used the academic literature, because in a way it's underpinning it, but you're in this instance, your reference to literature is the business that you've spoken to. Don't be afraid to put that evidence in, because it justifies the rationale for not going down that particular path. Link the 2 together. Okay. What mark would you like for it?
Well, 60s, obviously.
I think we did enough research to get in the 60s. I
You
don't
did?
think. Huh?
It's a 2 word name.
Yeah?
So I'm just asking, because I'm going to make a note of that and get to the final mark and I'm going to give you, just want to see how far.
I think your points make it clear that it's not worth a first, but I think we did enough research and background into it to make it a 2-1. Just saying.
I think you might be right. I think the process that you went through to put it together is sound. Okay, it's like that high level thinking. What you've got to do to really get into the first is make the most. If you're going to do all this work, floor
Apply
it.
to everything.
And make absolute effective advantage of everything that you've done as part of the process. All right, but job done. I like that. It was very interesting. It was very engaging. I thought the premise works. It just needs a polish, but it's that detail that you've got. So when you do this again, what you've got to take away is you can do it. You know, there's lots of businesses. When I sit on a leader group and people apply, You know, we often go back and say, where's the business plan? You haven't done that.
Yeah.
Where's the risk? They don't do it in detail, they have no idea what they're doing. You guys went there, which is really good. That's not really good stuff. Alright?
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Jess, relax. Okay, that was okay. Very good. Thank you very much. Right.
I think we're going to opt out of this peer assessment because we want to focus on our podcast.